What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. And you know that car collection we looked at the other day? Yeah, we're gonna do a little bit more with that. Me and my good buddy John got the opportunity from the owner of the collection to throw us some keys, you know, pick out what car you want to go out and drive, and that's what we got to do. So John took out one of his dream cars. You'll see here as we go through these twisty roads, a Carrera RS. I jumped in a GT3 RS that was very conveniently right next to it because I thought that would be a really cool comparison with my modern day track car being my Camaro and this modern track Porsche. Now this was a 2010 GT3 RS with the manual transmission, so I am super excited to get out in this thing and drive it. So I'll throw you guys in and we'll go hit some back roads in some epic Porsches and see how they drive. All right, guys, so we are in a GT3 RS. This is a 2010, and he threw us the keys to a couple of the cars. Now my buddy John is behind me in a Carrera RS, one of his personal dream cars, and I thought I would take out this GT3 RS as it's very much a track equivalent to the Camaro, obviously a just very purpose-built track car, and kind of get my driving impression. Now obviously we're not going to be doing crazy track work in this thing, but I thought I could at least drive it and see how the thing feels. One thing I do notice is the clutch weight. The clutch pedal is pretty darn heavy. I'm used to my relatively lightweight plush Camaro, and this feels like a real clutch. There's real weight to it. It's a clutch. You know that you're pushing down the clutch. Now, interior, I'm in a carboned back race seat. I've got a yellow 12 o'clock mark on the steering wheel letting me know I'm in a race car, and it's a special experience. What an opportunity. Again, like I said back in the video with his collection, there's not many guys out there with such passion and enthusiasm for the car culture, or there are, but how many of them are that awesome, that good of a guy, willing to just throw you the keys to their very expensive car in their collection and let you take it out on a drive. Now, I've got suede, shifter, steering wheel. Obviously, if you've been in a GT2, GT3 car, you know what the deal is in these things, but it's honestly a very comfortable seat. It's not too firm, it's very comforting. The bolstering is very nice. Nothing feels horrible, and you could definitely feel like you could take this thing on a very long drive. My good friend John is in a Carrera RS, and then we're being led by the owner of the collection in another Carrera RS. So it's a pretty cool looking picture going down the road here with a bright green Carrera RS, GT3 RS, and then the additional Carrera RS in a bright yellow behind me. It's a good day. That's about all I can say, is that it's a very good day. Now, I have never been in a GT car from Porsche, GT2 or GT3 or RS for that matter, and it's It feels like a race car. You've got no rear seat behind you. You've got the big RS 3.8 plaque in the back seat. You know you're in something special. It feels very tight. Even just going slowly down this back road here, it feels very tight. It feels very tidy. The steering is super tight. It's a track car. It's a track car from Porsche. It's going to do everything perfectly that it should be doing. The brakes, even at slow speeds, are very, very grippy. Now, on-road feel, now that we're up to speed, feels very smooth. It doesn't feel jarring or harsh. Now, obviously, you're very connected to the road. You feel the road. You feel a little bit of tram lining, obviously, with wide performance tires, even on a relatively smooth road. And yeah, there's going to be a little bit of road noise with super tight suspension. But honestly, the car tracks straight down the road. It doesn't feel like something you couldn't just jump in and drive and drive and drive. Now, rev match downshifting. It seems to blip immediately into the gear or into the RPM you want it to, with obviously no seat time in this thing. I've never driven this car. I've have very, very little seat time in Porsches, but with the first flick of the throttle on a rev match downshift, it immediately went right where it needed to go. And I'm sorry, the Carrera in front of me is a RSR. So no, it's not just an RS, it is a RSR Carrera. It was maybe about half throttle. Oh my goodness. This car is fast. And guys, if we can see, well, that's my buddy John there in the other Carrera RS. It's this is the thing. What an experience. Like I said, that acceleration was maybe half throttle in second gear, and it moved well. Oh my goodness. The exhaust noise, the intake noise, the RPMs, it's an experience. It gives you chills, it gives you goosebumps. It's an experience in a car. I can understand why the price to play is so high with these things, because it's an experience. The brakes feel very, very firm. The initial pedal has just an ever so slight amount of travel, and then it's just brakes. It's all brakes. There's no mush. There's no extended travel. It's just there. Jeez. This on a racetrack would be absolutely brutal. It feels so much more rev happy, so much more light than the big heavy Camaro that I'm used to driving in anger. It just feels like it explodes when it accelerates. Even in sixth gear, rolling into the throttle, it just doesn't care. It goes. The car picks up. You hear that intake noise just start breathing air, and it rips you forward. What a drive. What a car. What an experience. Something that I probably won't ever be able to afford, but there's guys good enough out there that will let you experience the car culture through them. What a noise. The intake's almost as intoxicating as the exhaust note. following a bright green Carrera RSR and a Carrera RS, when else are you going to be doing something like this? In the middle of Kansas, mind you. It just pulls. That's about the takeaway from this drive, is the thing just keeps pulling. It doesn't stop. I'm shaking my head at the throttle right now. I can only imagine on a racetrack driving it at 1010s how good, satisfying it would feel. It's a amazing handling driving vehicle, even just on these twisty back roads. So we are heading back the other way now in the GT3. This car moves down the road very quickly. It does car things extremely well. Goodness gracious. Guys, what a bucket list car to drive here. It's adrenaline pumping even just driving on these back roads. Now we'll see if we can do one more good pull here with this thing before it gets back into its storage. Oh boy. That is all the noise. This car moves really, really well. If you haven't heard me say that about 20 times already, it accelerates exceptionally well. And I can't even imagine, this is the GT3. Obviously, there's the GT2 with even more horsepower. I can't imagine more. This feels very, very good. And even when coming to a stop, you hear the brakes because it is, after all, a race car. I don't think you would get very good gas mileage owning one of these, because you would just be constantly rowing it through the gears and listening to that exhaust, listening to that intake make noise. Well guys, we are taking all three of these Porsches back to the collection, the building, their home, and I'm glad I could take you guys along on such a special drive or ride. Again, this is one of the cars from that absolutely amazing collection we looked at the other day. I can't thank the owner enough for throwing us the keys to a couple of his cars and taking us out on a drive in them. It's a once in a lifetime kind of thing. How many times are you going to be behind a Carrera RSR and a Carrera RS and in a GT3 RS? It doesn't happen very often, and definitely doesn't happen very often for myself. So super special experience. I cannot thank him enough. It's awesome people in the car world that make this hobby what it is. So guys, thanks for coming along on a very special Porsche drive here on the channel. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.